Not going to lie, this can be confusing. You're going to apply what you did yesterday, but it's kind of hard. A lot of the problems are worded very confusingly. So it says a certain automobile cooling system has a capacity of 6 gallons. To get protection, 40% of the cooling system capacity must be antifreeze. How many gallons of antifreeze should be used? So you're going to make that proportion with your percent over 100%. And then over here you got your part amount over the base amount. So your percent's given, it's 40. Now the confusing part's where to put that number. You basically got a 50-50 shot, but if you read it, you can make a better educated guess. Now let's decide what the base means. It says 40% of the cooling system capacity. Then when you get words like must, is, are, you want to stop the circle, okay? So the base is just of the cooling system capacity, okay? Nothing else. Well, if you look at the 6, it says that's of the capacity, okay? That means that's your base, that's your total to go off of. Then the part is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how many gallons of antifreeze are within that base. So I know it accounts for 40%. So 40 times 6 divided by 100 is 2.4. 2.4, and it would be gallons. Okay, next one. A machine operator completes a job in 80% of the estimated time. Okay, the estimated time is 8.5 hours. How long does the job actually take? So you got 80% over 100%. Then is and of, or no, not is and of, that's not going to help you. Part and base. Remember, start the circle at the percent and then stop it when it says must, is, are, have, stuff like that. Okay, so the base then, put base above that. The estimated time is my base. Well, it says 8.5 is the estimated time, so that's got to be my base. And I have to find the part that it actually took. So I take 80 times 8.5 divided by 100. That's 6 4/5. So it's 6 4/5 hours. Okay, in an electrical circuit, a certain resistor takes 26% of the total voltage. The total voltage is 115 volts. How many volts are taken by the resistor? Again, so you got 26%, 100%. Now you start circling the percent and you stop the circle to either you get to the end of the sentence or you run into words like must, is, are, have's another one. There's a bunch of different words, okay? Of the total voltage, and then I don't see any of those kinds of words, so I'm at the end of the sentence, okay? So the base is the total voltage. Well, again, it's part over base. Now, it quite clearly says that 115 is the total voltage, so then 115 is my base, and I have to find the part that's taken by the resistor. So 26 times 115 divided by 100, 29.9. And the label is the same as the 115. It's going to be volts. Okay, next one. It is estimated that 37% of an apple harvest is spoiled by an early frost. Before the frost, the expected was 3,800 bushels. How many bushels will be spoiled? Okay, so I put 37%, 100%, and then part, and then base. Okay, start circling your percent. Stop when you get to is, are, have, something. There's is, so I stop it. So the base is just the apple harvest itself. Okay, well, 3,800 bushels is the total amount in the apple harvest. So that's my base, and I have to find the part. So I take 37 times 3,800 divided by 100, 1,406. That'd be bushels. That's how many were actually spoiled. Again, the base is like your total amount, but that's not always obvious when you read the problem. Okay, next one. These are pretty easy. A garment requires 3.5 yards of material. If 1/4 of material is waste, what percent of the required amount is waste? Now, with a percent, you put 100%, and you don't have your percent, so that's the X. So part base. Basically, for this assignment, the larger number is your base, and the smaller number is your part, which makes it pretty easy. So 100 times 1/4. Divided by 3, ABC1, ABC2, 7 1/7%. Okay, a casting when first poured is 17.875 centimeters long. The casting shrinks 0.188 centimeter as it cools. What's the percent shrinkage? So again, we don't have our percent. So again, we'll have the larger number be the base. It's not always that way, but I think on this assignment it is. And then 0.188 is the part. So you take 100 times 0.188 divided by 17.875. That's going to be round to the nearest, round 2 decimal places. Okay. So 1.05%. Okay, a small manufacturing plant employs 130 persons on people. On certain days, 16 employees are absent. What percent of the total number of employees are absent? So you don't have your percent. You got your part over your base. We'll have the base be the total, 130, and then the part that's absent, 16. So you just cross multiply and divide, and that's a percentage. Okay, 12.3%. Just go out 1 decimal place today. Okay, if 97 acres of 385 acres of timber are cut, what percent of the acres is cut? Okay, so you got percent, 100%. You don't have the percent, part over base. So we'll have the 385 be the base and 97 be the part. 100 times 97 divided by 385 is 25.2 because it's a 1, but there's a 9 after it, so the 1 becomes a 2. Please round correctly. 25.2%. Okay, on a production run, 6.5% of the units manufactured are rejected. Now you're back to kind of tougher ones. If 140 units are rejected, how many total units are produced? Okay. So now we're back to having the percent. Part over base. Okay, start circling the percent. Okay, when you get to the word like R, okay, you can stop it. So the bases of the units, the number of units manufactured. But it doesn't say 140 were manufactured. That's how many are rejected. So the base we don't have, and 140 then becomes our part. Okay, so you got 100 times 140 divided by 6.5, and that's going to be 2,153.8. Okay, and that would be units. Okay, this year's earnings of a company are 140% of last year's earnings. The company earned $910,000 this year. How much did the company earn last year? So it's 140%. And then, remember, stop it when you get to like is, are, have, were, stuff like that. But I get to the end of the sentence, so I don't have to stop it. Stops at the end of the sentence if you don't run into a helping verb is what it's called. Okay, part over base. Okay, last year's earnings is the base. But that's not last year's earnings, so we don't have the base. $910,000 is the part. So I take 100 times 910,000 divided by 140, $650,000. Okay, during a sale, 32.8% of the retailer's fabric stock is sold. Okay, so it's going to be 30. The income received from the sale is $8,765. What is the total retail value of the complete stock? It's got 32.8%, 100%. Part over base. So start that. Again, when you get to is, of, have, or, stop it. Okay. So the base is just how much money the retailer has in their fabric stock. Okay. But that clearly doesn't say that that's how much is in the stock. Okay, it doesn't say anything. That's the income they received. So again, I'm missing my base, and 8765 is the part. Again, when they ask you for the total, that means you're finding the base. Okay. Again, when the question's asking you to find the total, that means you're missing the base. You have to find it. Okay, it's going to be 26722 point. Just put 0.6. It'd be 60 cents. Okay, just keep rounding it. Put the 0 if it's money. Okay, with use of 12-volt battery loses 5.6 ampere hours, which is 18% of its capacity. How many ampere hours of capacity did the battery originally have? So you got 18%, 100%, part, base. So to identify the base, you go 18%, stop it at the end of the sentence. So the capacity it has, the 5.6 ampere hours aren't the capacity. It doesn't say that they are. So we put 5.6 as the part, X is the base. Okay, because it asked me how many ampere hours of capacity did we have. That means the capacity I don't have. Hence, I don't have my base. So we take 100 times 5.6 divided by 18. 31.1. Okay, volts.